Hello, math class. Okay, so this is 10.4F. Hopefully E went really well. My beef with 10.4F is that there is only one video, and I kind of feel like we need more than that. Don't you think? I feel like I need more than that. This is doing exactly what we have been doing without numbers. So we're kind of doing some theoretical math here. And like I said, I'm super afraid that some of you are going to be like, I'm out, crazy lady. I'm not doing your math anymore. And I don't want you to do that because, again, you can totally do this. It's the same kind of steps, sort of. It actually, I'm not actually certain why this is in 10.4. Except that sometimes we do have to factor something out. I sort of feel like it relates more to things that we did in the first unit, unit 7, like with linear equations. So anyway, okay, let me walk you through this because I know she showed you a couple of problems. Hopefully you won't get these exact same problems when you do the 2 in WAMAP. And then we'll add this to our journal as well. Okay. So I am looking for F. So I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to try to get everything with an F on one side of the equal sign and everything without an F on the other side. That's a Z. Okay, so this has an F. So I'm going to move him over there. This guy does not have an F, so I'm going to move him over there. So minus T from both sides. And then I'm going to add FP to both sides. Okay, so then let me rewrite what I've got. That guy's gone. That guy's gone. So what I have left is FC plus FP, which equals 7 minus T. Did you see what we did there? Now I'm going to factor out that F. See how there's an F in both of these? That's going to equal Z minus T. To get that F by itself, I'm going to divide by C plus P. And that's going to get rid of that. So after all of that, F is going to equal Z minus T over C plus P. Ugh, right? But again, this is like a theoretical math kind of thing. Let's talk about how to enter this into WAMAP too. I'm going to pop up my little yellow arrow box here. I'm going to start by clicking the fraction button. And so then on top, I'm going to say Z minus T. And then on the bottom, I'll say C plus P. And then I'm going to click save. And so then again, you see that it enters it with parentheses and a slash. And I want to make sure that my preview right here looks exactly the same. Does my preview that's like right here look exactly the same as this thing? And it does. So then I'm going to say submit. And we got it right. Woohoo! Clear as mud, probably, right? And then I'm gonna blow your mind a little more. So now let's look at question 2. Again, hopefully you're not gonna get this one. I guess it's okay if you do. So they want me to solve for X. So I'm gonna take this thing and I'm gonna solve for X. 5X plus X times H over H equals R. So I know that up here I'm going to be able to factor an X out of both of those, right? But I'm not going to do that first. Like the other video said, the first thing that I want to do is times it by, let me get this arrow out of the way here. I'm going to times it by H over 1 because that's going to get rid of that fraction. Over here, I'm just going to times it by H. because I don't want to have to deal with fractions. Who wants to deal with fractions, right? Not you or I. So now I have this equals that 5x plus x times h equals r times h. And now I can factor that x out of this thing. So I took the x out of both of those because that was the factor they had in common. So now it's x times 5 plus h equals r times h. And then I want that x by itself because that's what I'm factoring for. That's going to cancel all of that stuff. So x is going to equal that big old mess of a thing. Ugh, right? Okay. So now let me turn my pen off. I'm going to click on that whiteboard, or I mean the yellow. I'm writing with the pen on the whiteboard. I click the yellow arrow. Oh my gosh. See, I told you my brain was tired. I'm going to click this fraction thing again. I'm going to say r times h, and I got the times dot by using the star button, which is either Shift 8 or it's over on your number pad. And then on the bottom, oops, I'm going to have 5 plus h. I wonder if it's going to make me factor those h's out. Let's see. We'll check this first. Okay, so remember, I want to check my preview. If my preview doesn't come up automatically, then I want to make sure, like, to click the preview button. Does that look the same as this stuff down here? It does look the same as that stuff down there. So then I'm going to say submit. And we are right. We don't have to cross cancel these h's. I think it's because these are times and this is plus. If they were both times, then I could factor the h. But because one is multiply and one is adding, I don't have to take that h out. I just leave it in both places. Okay? Does that sort of help? I hope that helps. And yeah, I'll see you in a minute and we'll put some stuff about this in our journal.